So what can we do in the short term, the long term? What we are recommending to our companies, of course, is to have policies in place. So we are scarce on using aviation, of course, where we can use other alternatives. And when we select aviation, we look at the routes, we look at the companies, and we can also look at adding sustainable aviation fuel. Yes, but I think it's so important for this industry to have a long-term vision to say, well, we need to crack this question from a long-term perspective.
It's a lot of electricity that is needed to generate e-fuels like this. So at the time being, we, in a sense, have to be quite reliant on others. But we have just now, actually yesterday, Icelandic government published a draft of a new industrial strategy that is aiming and looking at e-fuel production and other matters to kind of how we can, with our renewable energy, have even further impact. So we have done the electricity and the electrification, but how can we kind of move forward and make sure that those hard-to-abate sectors are also something that we can challenge and that we can move away from fossil fuels with.
Or sustainable aviation fuel, we're usually talking about biofuel because that is the fuel that is available today, right? But there are other ways, and as you said, it's about efficient ways of using land. It's about efficient ways of using water. It's about efficient ways of using our resources that we have available, and that can be renewable, right? Like where we can have a circular economy to produce these kind of fuels. And in practice, that means for us, for example, is that we are producing a synthetic aviation fuel that from chemical components is exactly the same as it is as fossil fuels are, right? So we can use it in existing infrastructures, planes, pipelines on the airports, right? Like even in remote airports, we don't have to change the infrastructure like you would have to do for hydrogen or battery electric planes. And the nice thing about it is that we can do it with resources that we have available today. We need water, we need CO2, and we need power. Those are the three ingredients that we need in order to produce synthetic aviation fuel.
Did the festival pay for that? Because it costs more than using the normal fuel, right?
Of course, and I love that you say it, because money is the key here. If you have sponsors, you can have another sponsor taking care of the extra cost for the fossil-free fuel. You have sponsors for everything nowadays, but I don't think that it's the first thing that you ask a sponsor. Can you take care of our emissions? So that was one of the steps that the music festival took. They added a sponsor for this SAF fuel, and also in the sports sector. So it's easy when you have sponsors, then you get the money and then you can buy the extra SAF fuel.
So the issue is HEFA, or bio-based jet fuel, can basically get us to the 6%. So the problem is we need to start tomorrow to go beyond, because at some point we'll run out of bio-based SAF, whether we find new ways of producing it with the biomass from trees or municipal waste or other feedstocks. I think the key here is interdependency and the acknowledgement of interdependency, because we cannot look at the airlines and ask them to fly on SAF when we don't want to pay extra.